Solving multi-step equations using the do and undo table. So when you solve more advanced equations, first thing you want to do is write out the do and undo table, then using the table solve the equation for x, and then check your equation by plugging in your answer. So let's look at an example. The first thing we do to solve multi-step equations is set up a do and undo table. The do side talks about order of operations. So we always do what's in the parentheses first, and inside the parentheses we have multiplication and subtraction. So the first thing I'm going to do is multiply by 7, subtract 1, then outside the parentheses the first thing we have here is being multiplied by 4 and then divided by 5. So to solve the equation we need to do the opposite operations in the reverse order. These are called inverse operations. So our first inverse operation is to multiply by 5, then divide by 4, then add 1, and then divide by 7. So our first step here is to multiply both sides by 5. Doing that, the 5's cancel on the left, and we get 4 times the quantity 7x minus 1 equals 40. So we could always distribute here and then solve from there, or we can continue in our do and undo table our next step. So we already multiplied both sides by 5. Our next step is to divide both sides by 4. So the 4's cancel off on the left, and 40 divided by 4 is 10. The next step is to add 1 to both sides. So we add 1 to both sides and we get 7x equals 11. And the last step here in our undo table is to divide by 7. So we get the rational number 11/7. Now let's check by plugging it back in. So the first thing I do is rewrite the equation, but I leave a blank where x is. And I'm going to plug in my answer of 11/7. So 7 times 11/7, the 7's cancel, and we would just get 4 times the quantity 11 minus 1 divided by 5. Inside the parentheses we have 11 minus 1, so that would give us 10. And 4 times 10 is 40. So we get 40/5, which equals 8, and therefore we've checked. And that's how you solve multi-step equations with the do and undo table.